But some people would argue that Broward County Zoo is not the only zoo in Broward County. Gary Craven heard about a different kind of zoo located in Fort Lauderdale. It's called Zoo World, so he went up there to investigate.
What is Zoo World?
Zoo World is a rock and roll publication. It deals with the arts, music, and we gear ourselves to that type of individual.
Well, most people haven't heard of Zoo World. How long has it been around?
Well, the most young people have heard of it, and it has been around about 2 years.
Okay, what's the circulation now?
Circulation's about 250,000.
What 250,000 people read Zoo World? What's an average reader like?
Well, it's a question that we're asked quite a bit. We gear ourselves to the 13 to 30 age group, basically like top 40 or rock and roll radio stations geared to their audience. Our reader is the type of person, we've had this little thing drawn up, poster style. He listens to a lot of component equipment, he eats hamburgers, hot dogs, soda pop, plays musical instruments, buys cameras, flies on airplanes, listens to stereo equipment, buys a lot of records, and he listens to radio about 4 hours a day.
Well, for such a young, progressive reader group like that, your office here looks awfully straight, like a bank office. How do you get an atmosphere in your creative departments to draw an audience like that?
Well, I think audiences basically reflect the individuals that maintain them. We have a young, experienced crew of people. They are very professional in their efforts as far as journalism, especially rock journalism. And I think the offices that we maintain are their personality.
Once you leave the executive suite, the offices at Zoo World really do reflect the personalities of the staff. There's always music on, but no muzak here. It's rock music, of course. The decorations are past covers and posters of contemporary music superstars. The office crew is young and trendy, and the atmosphere is friendly and relaxed. So relaxed you hardly believe they're working against a deadline. But they are, and the deadline is today. So they're busy getting together all the stories and features that will make up this issue for January 3rd. They call their publication the Magazine on Music and the People Who Make It, which means personality stories, reviews, news, rumors, just about anything that concerns music. They don't ignore classical, country, jazz, or pop, but there's a heavy emphasis on rock. The staff numbers 40, with some of the writers already building national reputations as music critics. And the company boasts 4 staff artists who do all the artwork for the magazine. Actually, I shouldn't say magazine. The crew insists that Zoo World is neither a magazine nor a newspaper. They call it a megapaper.
This is where we can differentiate between a newspaper and a magazine, where we have the access to do a lot of creative and more aesthetic quality to the publication, where newspapers are just concerned with just putting it out, you know, the most expedient methods.
Why do you use newsprint instead of a glossy?
Well, the difference between newsprint and glossy is the reality of putting out a bi-weekly publication with our tight scheduling. We like to keep our music magazine as current as possible, and less preparation is needed. It's not as expensive as glossy, and it's not as time-consuming.
The major attraction is the personality story on rock stars who are very public figures. Some of them are also very controversial figures. But Zoo World does not want to be a controversial publication. So how do they get around that problem?
We present them just as they are, because the readers wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, we can't make over a group as far as their appearance and their stage presentation, because the people that are reading us know what we're talking about. You can't make over a politician. You can't make over a Ford into a Chevrolet. I mean, there it is.
But some of the groups are pretty straightforward in their presentations, in their language, and...
We would like to feel that we're a very literate magazine. We basically reflect their feelings and their emotions, but we do it in a literate way. we don't have to print the four-letter words to convey to the public that that's the way they speak.
Zoo World hits the newsstands twice a month, and it's also sold in boutiques and record stores. Once the publication became distributed nationally, the staff started thinking up promotion gimmicks. We thought the name itself might be a promotion gimmick, but Zoo World doesn't really mean anything in particular. The most successful idea so far has been the centerfold, but not quite the kind you'd find in Playboy. These centerfolds contain ads for 70 rock radio stations, and the space is traded for free radio advertising on those stations. 70 editions are printed, so there's a different ad for each major market all around the country. That's really putting the zoo on the map.
Told me it's all happening at the zoo.